Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Alhamdulillah bertemu sekali lagi bersama-sama dengan saya Dr. Abdul Hadi bin Dawi dalam CDL Connecting Dot Learning Hands-on Cluster IPG Institut Pendidikan Guru. Selamat datang ke CDL online pada petang ini. InsyaAllah ya, pada petang ini kita ada 2 slot ya. Yang pertama Snippet oleh Dato Mehander dan akan disusuli oleh pembentangan yang akan disampaikan oleh Puan Sumati Muniandy ya. Baik, untuk tidak melengahkan masa, kita akan mulakan dengan slot yang pertama iaitu Snippet online yang akan disampaikan oleh Dato Dr. Mehander Singh. Untuk itu dipersilakan Dato.
Selamat petang dan selamat sejahtera kerana dapat bersama pada petang ini. So tajuk yang saya pilih untuk hari ini ialah perbezaan di antara guru yang baik dan guru yang hebat. Memang kita semua dalam kalangan guru yang baik. Good teachers and a truly great teacher. Kita sememangnya kita guru yang akan mengajar, beri fokus kepada PDP kita dengan yang terbaik. Tetapi bila kita lihat satu piramid dan di puncak piramid itu kita tahu bahawa selain daripada kompetensi kita untuk mengajar adalah banyak aspek yang lain. So, yang ada di puncak itu adalah yang merupakan yang menjadikan kita the truly great teacher. Dan kita sudah pastinya dapat ingat tentang guru-guru yang mengajar kita semasa kita di sekolah. Kita ada ramai guru yang baik, tapi yang mana di antara mereka kita tahu adalah di peringkat hebat, fantastic, a great teacher. Dan saya lihat juga ada penulisan tentang tajuk ini, what if there were no teachers? Bolehkah sekolah berfungsi? Ini satu soalan untuk kita semua. Pernah saya ditanya bahawa kalau murid hanya belajar tuition saja, dapat keputusan yang baik, adakah itu boleh menggantikan sekolah? So saya sebut bahawa dinamik sekolah itu berbeza daripada pusat tuition dan sebagainya, atau homeschooling, ataupun yang belajar di lot kedai. So kerana di sekolah ia bukan saja berkaitan dengan nak dapat keputusan yang terbaik, tapi sebaliknya ialah holistic development of the child secara keseluruhan. Dapat bertemu dengan rakan-rakan, dapat keluar ke padang, dapat hadir dalam aktiviti ko-akademik dan sebagainya, peristiwa-peristiwa yang berlaku di sekolah. Segala itu menjadikan persekolahan itu satu pengalaman yang terbaik untuk anak murid. So, dalam semua itu termasuklah having the best teachers, having punya guru yang sentiasa berjiwakan tentang kebajikan murid. Sebab itu tugas seorang guru bukan semua orang dapat laksanakan. So ada beberapa atribut, beberapa sifat di antara seorang good teacher and a truly great teacher yang menjadi inspirasi kepada murid-murid. Yang pertama ialah belas kasihan, compassion. Bukan saja compassion terhadap murid, tetapi juga compassion atau belas kasihan terhadap guru lain staf sekolah yang lain yang bekerja di pejabat, security dan sebagainya. Dan juga belas kasihan dengan ibu bapa. Yang kedua, enthusiasm yang terpuji tentang kanak-kanak dan pembelajaran. So, suka tak suka, kita kena ada satu passion for children dan untuk mengajar, untuk pembelajaran, for learning. Kalau kita tak ada passion ini, kegairahan ini, mungkin kita tidak, bila nak datang ke sekolah setiap hari, kita rasa macam satu yang membawa stres. So, untuk kita kekal hadir untuk tugas kita, kita sentiasa kena ada yang dalam diri kita, dalam jiwa kita tu kegairahan ini atau passion for learning and children. So, bina passion ini. Yang ketiga, pemahaman. Ini yang saya sebut juga bila saya sebut tentang belas kasihan tadi. Kita sebagai guru kena faham tentang latar belakang, tentang apakah cabaran murid-murid kita dan kebolehan mereka. Kita yang keempat perlu sabar. Bukan saja sabar dengan murid, tapi juga sabar dengan pihak sistem pendidikan, birokrasi dan ibu bapa. Kalau kita boleh jadi orang yang selalu komplain. Dari tahun pertama kita bertugas sampai bila pun ada orang yang jadi raja komplain. So, dude, we will always be complaining. Tapi kita perlu kesabaran kerana dalam mana-mana sistem pendidikan sudah pastinya ada cabaran. Sudah pastinya ada cabaran. So, be patient. Kesabaran ini adalah satu ciri yang amat kita kena adalah pada diri kita. Intonasi suara kita pun boleh mencerminkan kesabaran kita. Kalau tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, apa yang saya sebut dalam 4 ciri-ciri ini, kalau lihat gambar raja di sebelah kanan tu, the spectrum of empathy. Kalau kita pity, we must have pity also. Di tempat yang sememangnya perlu kita pity. I'm sorry for you. Itu melambangkan pity. Sympathy. I feel for you. Kita rasa. Ya. Kadang-kadang cikgu pun menghadapi banyak cabaran. So we must feel for them. Ada cikgu yang duka lara kerana kita gunakan istilah duka. Suami mengajar di tempat lain, isteri di tempat lain dan sebagainya. Dan empathy ini, I feel with you. I can wear your shoes. Dan compassion ini, belas kasihan ini, saya terpanggil, saya juga turut sedih. I'm moved by you. So, 4 spektrum, pada spektrum ini, 4 aspek ini, kita harus ada dalam diri kita sebagai guru. We are very important people. Every teacher matters. Last week itu tajuk saya. Do teachers matter? We matter. We are planning the future of the country. Right? Ya, doktor boleh rawat seorang murid. Tapi kita guru. Kita guru ni guru rawat. Orang lain, dia juru rawat. Kita guru rawat. Bagaimana kita rawat? Kita rawat melalui belas kasihan. Kita rawat melalui passion dan kegairahan mengajar. Kita rawat melalui pemahaman. Kita rawat melalui kesabaran. That's the sifat seorang great teacher. Next slide, please. So, ada satu pepatah orang Jepun. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is 1 day with a great teacher. So, kalau daripada saya pun hari ini anda bawa balik satu istilah ke satu perkara yang saya sebut dalam diri kita, kita boleh buat refleksi. Better than 1,000 days kita belajar sendiri is 1 day with a great teacher. Kita habiskan sehari dengan guru yang mempunyai pengaruh yang tinggi. So yang kelima, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kita tak boleh lari jadi contoh. So murid ni macam sponge. Students will soak up the actions of guru macam sponge. Apa you buat? Dan ini juga sama untuk pemimpin, pengetua sekolah ke, atau pengetua di mana-mana, atau pemimpin di mana-mana. Anda kita sentiasa diperhatikan. Apa kita pakai, bagaimana bahasa, adab bahasa kita, tertib bahasa kita, parking kereta kita, bahasa yang kita gunakan dalam kelas dan sebagainya. Dan yang keenam, komunikasi antara generasi, selang budaya dan selang generasi. Lebih lagi pada negara kita yang satu negara yang majmuk dengan warna-warni dia daripada kebudayaan, daripada bahasa dan sebagainya. Mungkin itulah intipati yang menjadikan kita satu negara yang berbeza daripada negara lain. So bukan saja memahami budaya dan intergenerational, nak merapatkan intergenerational gap, ya, jurang di antara generasi. Itu menjadi tugas kita sebagai guru. Kita yang paling boleh touch base dengan murid. Kadang-kadang ibu bapa pun tak boleh touch base dengan murid, tapi cikgu boleh. So bukan saja komunikasi selang budaya dan generasi dengan murid, tapi juga dengan staf lain dan pihak kepimpinan sekolah dan juga pihak-pihak yang lain. Dan yang terakhir, jangan lupa kita tidak akan capai apa jua pun kalau kita tidak berusaha. So usaha daripada guru untuk dapat yang terbaik, untuk buat yang terbaik di sekolah adalah sangat-sangat penting. If a teacher shows students that they truly care, students will do the same. Kalau kita buat kerja dengan usaha dan tekad yang terpuji, murid pun akan ikut sama. Tapi jangan cakap pada saya, Dr. Mehander, sekolah saya macam-macam saya cuba, murid masih lagi ada yang ingat, sudah pastinya 5% itu ada. 5% itu akan cuba meniru. Tapi jangan kita meletakkan 5% sampai kita lupakan yang 95%. Dan banyak kali juga saya sebut ayat ini. With children, you tell, and you tell, and you tell. Dengan kanak-kanak, kita cakap, dan kita cakap. Yalah, kanak-kanak akan komplain. Tapi itu sememangnya kita harus amalkan. We tell, it's okay. Itu menjadi tugas kita. Our job is to tell. Remind, gentle reminder. You can't do that. You have to do it like that. You kadang-kadang itu, that are all our gentle reminders. Kita cikgu. Next slide, please. So remember, banyak penulisan tentang cikgu. Minggu lepas pun saya kongsi tentang cikgu Singh ini, yang menjadi guru sains yang hebat zaman saya di sekolah. Dan saya juga paparkan satu memento yang diberi oleh murid saya 40 tahun dahulu. Thanks for all you have done. Murid-murid sentiasa akan menghargai kita. Staf kita akan sentiasa menghargai kita. Dan saya pernah sebut, bila staf tinggalkan organisasi, bukan dia tinggalkan organisasi, dia tinggalkan pemimpin. So kalau kita jadi pemimpin, maupun pemimpin sekolah, pemimpin pertengahan di sekolah, atau guru sekolah, kita memimpin murid, ya, kita nak bagi yang terbaik. Next slide, please. So banyak penulisan tentang buku-buku. Kalau tuan-tuan dan puan-puan ada peluang, carilah mana-mana satu buku yang membawa satu kesan kepada jiwa kita, because reading is thinking. Next slide, please. So tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, inilah perkongsian saya pada hari ini. If the youth of a society is educated, the future is born. Saya boleh kongsikan ilmu dengan anda, kerana ilmu itu boleh kita perolehi daripada pelbagai sumber, daripada makalah, majalah dan sebagainya. Remember, it is easier to build strong children than to fix broken adults. We always have to be positive, positive, positive. Kita bukan nak melahirkan semua jurutera atau doktor. Kita nak melahirkan warga negara yang baik. Itu matlamat falsafah pendidikan kebangsaan. Akhir sekali, if children can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. Itu saja daripada saya pada hari ini. Sekian, terima kasih dan terima kasih kepada semua yang dapat bersama pada hari Jumaat. Thank you.
Baik. Terima kasih Dato Mehander Singh di atas perkongsian melalui snippet online sebentar tadi, yang perkongsian yang bertajuk different between a good teacher and truly a great teacher. Mudah-mudahan daripada apa yang dikongsikan oleh Dato sebentar tadi dapat kita sama-sama manfaatkan dalam kerja buat kita, ya, sebagai seorang guru ataupun pendidik. Baik, sekarang kita pergi kepada slot yang kedua, iaitu slot pembentangan. Petang ini kita amat bertuah, ya, kita dapat seorang lagi pembentang yang hebat, iaitu Puan Sumati Muniandy. Ya. Hello Sumati Muniandy, can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Hadi.
Okay.
Hello.
Apa khabar, ya?
Yeah, I'm good.
boleh dengar dengan baik, ya? Jelas, ha?
Yeah. Very
Okay,
jelas.
baik. Pertama saya ucapkan terima kasih di atas kesudian Puan Sumati Muniandy bersama-sama dengan kita pada petang ini, ya. Sebelum saya serahkan kepada Puan Sumati, saya akan perkenalkan dululah Puan Sumati ini, ya. Baik, saya bacakan biodata Puan Sumati dulu, ya. Saya buat biodata ni dalam bahasa Inggeris, so saya baca dalam bahasa Inggeris teruslah. Dari segi penyampaian nanti pembentangan is up to you, Puan Sumati, either you deliver in English or Malay or both, ya, mix, ya. Ikut terpulang nanti, ya.
Alright.
Okay, alright. Puan Sumati Muniandy is currently an academic lecturer and a writer. Writer. Sumati holds a master degree in TESOL from University Southern Queensland, Business Administration from University Putra Malaysia UPM, and diploma in TESOL from Teacher Training College Malaysia, and diploma in TESOL from London Teacher Training College. She has written a number of articles on various topics locally and abroad. She has also presented papers in conference. Writing is her passion, and she writes her real life experience to inspire others. She believes that everyone has a story to tell. Her research interests include assessment, innovation, and creative writing. All right, Puan Sumati, now the floor is yours. Yeah. Saya jemputlah, ya, Puan Sumati untuk membentangkan.
Thank you, Dr. Hadi. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today's topic I would like to share with you all is about the differentiated instruction in the ESL classroom. ESL classroom stands for English as a Second Language. All right? Okay, what do you understand by differentiated instructions? We also can call it as differentiated learning, right? Differentiated learning or differentiated strategies. When we talk about differentiated strategies or instructions, teachers have to relate to the CFR curriculum, the current curriculum that are being used in the school, and also your formative assessment. These are interrelated with this topic. All right, I move on here. Okay, the objective. 1. Become familiar with vocabulary related to differentiated instruction. Understand basic principles of differentiating content, process, and product in an academically diverse classroom. Be able to implement one or more instructional strategies that support differentiation. Okay, as you all know, students come to our classrooms, right? When you see the students, they are from a variety of background, all right? Prior educational experiences, interests, motivators, readiness level, personal experiences, and learning styles. These are the students that we can see in our real classroom. All right? So as a teacher, you should understand this before you plan your lesson in the classroom, because it will affect your lesson if you don't plan it well. All right? Let's look at the other slide. Okay. Okay, Gardner's theory. Gardner's theory, he introduced theory of multiple intelligences. It shook the academic world. Okay, when you look at the Gardner's multiple intelligence theory, then you will be able to understand students' needs in the real classroom. After all, it challenged prevailing beliefs about intelligence and how we can learn best. Perhaps you have heard of Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, but you are not sure about the finer details. Maybe this is the very first time you are reading about it. Either way, this is an important theory. This multiple intelligence model might just be the key, unlocking the hidden powers of your learners. So when talking about the differentiated strategies, Gardner's story, you need to know in and out of this important theory. Let's look at it. Okay, to give you a better idea, here are a couple of things that we can ponder. Why do some learners perform better in written tests while others prefer practical assessments? Why? Have you ever thought in the class? And then why does a standardized training approach often fail to engage all kinds of learners? You have to ponder all this, yeah? The answer is simple. Each individual possesses different intelligences which they use in learning. This theory can help you to acknowledge these differences, because the learners in the classroom, they are different. They have different learning styles, all right, according to Gardner's theory, right? Okay, these are the Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, yeah? So you can look at it here. Interpersonal, musical, naturalist, intrapersonal, bodily, kinesthetic, and all this I really can't see here. Okay. All right. So these are the multiple intelligences that Gardner's advocating. Okay. As a teacher in the classroom, you need to know the learner's interests, right, in the classroom. Some students, if you see, they are interested in talking, in communication. Some students in the classroom, you can see, they are more inclined towards the musical instrument. They like to listen to music. They like to listen to the slides. They like to listen to look at the video. Some students also likes to do hands-on activities in the classroom, which is also bodily kinesthetic. Okay? They like to do hands-on experiments. Some, they are very introvert, right? They keep it themselves. intrapersonal, and they like to write their diary, their journals, right? So these are the mix of students that we can see in the classroom. So my question is, how do we cater their needs as a teacher in the classroom? Because we have different types of students in the classroom. Can you use one strategies to fulfill their needs? That is the question that you need to think about. Okay, unfortunately, some classroom structures do not address this student diversity. In fact, the biggest mistake of past centuries in teaching has been to treat all children as they were variants of the same individual. Thus, to feel justified in teaching them all the same subjects in the same way. This is what Garner's story says. Because we tend to give the same worksheet to all the students in the classroom, regardless of their background, regardless of their interests. So by doing that, do we achieve our learning objective? So that is the question. Yeah. Later, I will share with you some of the strategies on how you can apply these differentiated strategies in your classroom. Okay, let's take a look at the instruction strategy we typically use in our classroom and see how they affect our students' memory retention. Maybe you need a pencil and a piece of paper, yeah? Okay, this is the one. Okay, which is the one is least effective and which is the one most effective? You can see, right? Is that lecture? Do you like to listen to lecture? And do you think that it is effective, or practice by doing is the most effective strategies? All right, you can have a look at this. All right, so the answer may be, okay, so lecture may be 5% and reading may be 10%, and the most effective one is teach other students. Okay, teach other students and practice by doing, discussion, role play, group work. All these are the most important strategies in the classroom, okay, that we can use. Okay. Okay, diverse learners, and you know that some of our past teaching strategies are not going to be effective with them. So the million-dollar question, how do you successfully meet the needs of the diverse learners in your classroom? How? Maybe you can type some answers in the chat box. All right. How do you address this? Okay, that's what we are looking at this session. Yeah. Okay, differentiating strategies. Here comes the ways to tackle these diverse students, mixed ability students in the classroom. Differentiated instruction is a set of unique decisions that the educator makes to bring learning within the grasp of all students. Remember, this includes students who are working on grade level, below grade level, and for those students working above grade level. That means in the real classroom, you can see the students, some of the students are weak, some of the students are average, and some of the students are good. So, as a teacher in the classroom, how do you tackle them, these three groups of students in the classroom? Can we give the same worksheet to all these three groups? Can we give the same worksheet? That is something for you to ponder, yeah? Okay, differentiated teaching occurs when the teacher plans a lesson that adjusts either the content being discussed, the process, right? This is the keyword, the content, the process used to learn, or the product expected from the students to ensure the learners at different starting points can receive the instruction they need to grow and succeed. So these three things, okay, content, product, and the process. All right. A good differentiated teaching program means high quality, evidence-based instruction that meets students' needs with their zone of possible learning development and has clear, smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based goals. So these are the things that you need to focus when you differentiate your strategies in the classroom to meet all these different types of mixed ability learners in the classroom. So the key things here is the content, the process, and the product. In some cases, we need to provide a conducive environment for the students in the classroom for them to learn as one of the strategies also. All right. Any questions so far? Okay. Providing a differentiation is providing avenues to acquire content, process ideas, and develop the knowledge. Yeah, a means to provide multiple options for taking in and making sense of information, as well as a means of expressing learning. Right? Okay. Principle of differentiated classroom. All students participate in respectful work. All the students, you must make sure all the students to participate in the task given, and teacher and students work together to ensure continual engagement and challenge for each learner. That means it's a two-way communication. It's not teacher-centered. It's more on student-centered, and the communication happen. The teacher coordinates use of time, space, and activities. Flexible grouping, which includes whole class learning, pairs, right? Student selected groups, teacher selected groups, and random groups. But in the real classroom, there is only one particular group for the whole year. So as a teacher, you need to change the students according to different groups. All right, in pairs, student selected groups or teacher selected groups. All right, always change the grouping. All right. Okay, principles of differentiated classroom. Time use is flexible in response to students' needs. A variety of management strategies such as learning center, interest centers, learning buddies is used to help target instruction to students' needs. All right, clearly establish individual and group criteria provide guidance toward success. That means you need to highlight what are they supposed to learn in the particular lesson when you enter the class, and make sure towards the end of your lesson you achieve the targets by differentiating your strategies in the classroom. Okay, students are assessed in a variety of ways to demonstrate their overall growth and thought, right? Okay, what is the difference between traditional classroom and differentiated classroom? Traditional classroom, differences are acted upon when problematic. Okay? In differentiated, differences are studied as a basic for planning. Right? That means we acknowledge, we know our students are from variety background. Their learning styles is different. So we cater our lesson according to their needs so that they learn from the lesson. All right? Okay, in traditional classroom, assessment is most common at the end of learning to see who got it. It's more result-oriented, traditional. But in differentiated classroom, assessment is ongoing, all right, and diagnostic to make instruction more responsive to learners' needs. Right? You can guide the students as you progress in your lesson. Okay? You need to guide them. Here comes the formative assessment. Right? It's ongoing. Relatively narrow sense of intelligence prevails in traditional classroom, and in differentiated classroom, focus on multiple forms of intelligence is evidence. That is very true because in the real differentiated classroom, the teacher caters for different needs of the students to make the learning enjoyable. All right. For example, in some activities, the first activities maybe teacher asks them to do their role play presentation, and then the other activity the students have to draw, have to do gallery walk, to do some hands-on activities, to do their narrative writing perhaps. So it's more on the catering for their intelligences. All right. Okay, coverage of curriculum guides drive instructions. Whereas here, students' readiness, interest, and learning profile shape the instructions. Okay, when you talk about this, you need to always connect to CFR, which is the current curriculum in our school, right? So it advocates about the can-do statement among the students. All right, if you come across the students who do not read or who don't know how to read or write, maybe you can cater the lesson and ask them to sit in a group, those who are low levels of students, learning ability. So you can ask them to sit in a group, then you can provide the necessary help for that particular group. All right, instead of asking them to sit in other groups, and then I'm sure they will be struggling to learn because they are in different categories. So you need to identify all these students in the classroom. Okay, here in traditional classroom, whole class instruction dominates, whereas in differentiated classroom, many instructional arrangements are used. Okay, here traditional single text prevails. This one, various or multiple materials are provided. As I said before, we have different activities to cater for this group, and I'm sure you can't do the 7 multiple intelligences activities in a lesson. It's okay. You just pick and choose for maybe 2 or 3 multiple intelligences activities that geared toward your students' interest. This is how we do, yeah? Okay, moving on. A differentiated classroom is flexible. Flexibility is at the heart of differentiation. The teacher is continually looking for ways to modify lesson. You have to modify the lesson according to their needs, right? Okay, differentiation of instruction is a teacher's response to learners' needs, guided by all these principles of differentiation, such as respectful tasks, flexible grouping, flexible grouping. Okay, that's why I say you need to change the grouping every now and then. Ongoing assessment and adjustment. Ongoing assessment is more to formative assessment, right? It's ongoing and you need to tackle the students when they make mistake. You can correct their mistakes and give them more personal approach of learning, right? Okay. Ways to differentiate. These are the ways: content, process, product, according to students. So these are the ways, right? Content, process, and product. Content, you need to align with your CFR, CFR curriculum. You need to align with that. And the process, all right? The task that you give, right? How you arrange the task according to their needs. And the product is the end product, end goal that they need to achieve, all right? according to students' readiness, interest, and learning profile. Right? You have to bear in mind, yeah? Okay, ways to differentiate what is taught, the content, which is aligned to CFR curriculum, and the process, how it is taught, and the product, how learning is assessed. According to students, readiness refers to readiness for a given skills, concept, or way of thinking, right? Interests and attitudes have to do with those things that learners find relevant, fascinating, and worthy of their time. All right? This one you need to really think about it. When you assign them some activities, make sure it's authentic, yeah? Authentic, which they can connect to their own real life. That is also the ultimate goal of CFR curriculum, all right? And also the students' readiness, okay? All right? And the learning profile, okay? Learning profile, which directly connected to multiple intelligences, okay? Okay, confused. Let's break it down. Differentiation can include complex strategies like writing tiered lesson plans, or it can take more simplistic form, such as using reading buddies or think, pair, share strategies. Here is the contents list of the continuum of differentiated strategies. Higher strategies. So these are the strategies or the instructions that you can use for your learners in the classroom. Okay, the most important is tiered lesson, flexible grouping, yeah. Flexible, this is also another activity, multiple intelligence, graphic organizers, all right? Respond exist cards and multiple tests. When you give multiple tests, make sure that it aligns with CFR, where you can only assign the tasks which the learner can do. Don't assign the tasks which is difficult, where the learners cannot do, and in the end they lose interest. All right, if you look at the CFR, the text must be A1 level. All right, there are different levels, but for primary school we focus on the A1 level. So the text must be for A1 level. All right. Okay, lower strategies. These are the lower strategies. Reading study buddies, anchor activities, think, pair, share, choices of books, interest surveys, multiple levels of questioning. So these are the lower strategies, yeah? Okay, a closer look. Within the next few slides, you'll be introduced to a few differentiated instructional strategies, such as tiered lesson, exist card, flexible grouping, anchor activities, response card. All these are the strategies that you can use to address the different learners in the classroom. This is what we call as differentiated instructional strategies. All right? Okay. Tiered instructions provide teachers with means of assigning different tasks within the same lesson or unit. Okay, the tasks will vary according to the students' readiness, interest, and learning profile. Have you ever thought about this? Or you just simply give the same worksheet to everybody? So you need to think about it, assigning different tasks, but the content is the same and it follows the SOW or the DSKP, right? Assigning different tasks, yeah? This is the keyword. Okay. What can be tiered? Content, process, product, yeah? Assignments, activities, homework, centers, experiments, materials, assessment, writing prompts. These are some of the activities. There are many, many other activities, but these are some of the activities, yeah? Okay. Okay, a 4-step method planning the tiered activities, identify the key concept or the skill what should student know, understand, or be able to do. Think about students and use assessment to determine readiness level, interest, and learning profile. Okay, create an activity for on-level learners that is interesting. You need to bear in mind, not giving the same monotonous activities to the students where they lose interest. All right, so as teachers, we should be always on our toes and recognize the students' learning needs and plan our lesson plan accordingly. Right, interesting, challenging, yes, of course. Challenging in terms of maybe perhaps in terms of the question that you ask, which help them to think further, create their critical thinking. So you need to include all that. Causes to students to use key skills to understand the major idea or concept. Step 4, adjust the activity accordingly. Adjust accordingly. Maybe for lower level students, maybe you can ask them to come up with 2 words. For higher level students, for excellent students, maybe you can ask them to come up with 5 words according to your task. That is how we differentiate. All right, not giving the same task to everybody. No, not like that. Okay, this group, okay, low levels of students, you can assign them 2 tasks. The average maybe 3. The excellent ones maybe 5. All right. Adjust the activity accordingly. Remember, you may not need to adjust the activity if you are differentiating by interest or by learning profile. However, if you are differentiating by readiness, you will need to adjust struggling learners and high able learners, struggling learners, on-level learners, high able learners. So these are the 3 groups that you need to identify in your classroom. Okay. Flexible grouping also good. It is an opportunity for students to work with a variety of students through whole group or in many different forms of small groups. The key flexible grouping is in the name flexible. Students have an opportunity to be in different groups depending on their activity. All right, you must give them the power, empower them by assigning them the group activities. All right. Okay, how does flexible grouping benefit students? Give students teacher a voice in work arrangements. All right, when you assign them in a group, they have their power to finish the task, to discuss with their friends, and complete the task. All right, rather than asking them to do individually. All right, allow students to work with a variety of peers. Right, they can have the chance to mix around in the classroom and discuss. Yeah, keep students from being backed as advanced or struggling. So this is how you should do. Yeah. In the group, maybe you can assign all the different types of learners. All right. So the good ones will have the weak ones, but continuously you have to change the grouping, right? Okay, group membership can be determined by readiness, interest, reading level, skill level, background knowledge, and social skills. Anchor activities are ongoing assignments that students can work on independently throughout a unit or grading period or longer. Okay, these are some of the anchor activities that you can use, yeah? All right. Okay, the purpose is to provide meaningful work for students when they finish an assignment or project, when they first enter the class, or when they are stumped, right? Provide ongoing tasks that tie into the content and instruction, free up the classroom teacher work with other group of students or individual. That means These are the activities that you can prepare for the students who are advanced, as well as the struggling ones. All right, so these are the things that you need to remember. Okay, exit cards, tickets out of the door. This is normally carried out at the end of the lesson, right? They can be used as quick assessment to see if the students are getting it. Right? The teacher hands out index cards to students at the end of the instruction sequence or the class period. The teacher asks the students to respond to a predetermined prompt on the index card. And so, okay, so these are the exist card samples of the exist card, yeah? So you can test their understanding of the lesson by giving this exist card, right? This is also one way of differentiated strategies by readiness, right? Okay, after reading over my rough draft, 3 revision I can make to improve my draft, 2 resources I can use to help improve my draft, 1 thing I really like about my first draft. So these are the this is the activity, yeah, about maybe the teacher has given some writing activities, and in the end of the lesson, teacher asks this question by using the exist card. This is a very interesting activity, yeah. Okay, response card. Response cards are another form of quick assessment. Each student has a card and indicates their understanding of a topic by holding up the appropriate response. Okay, it increases participation level of all students, increase on the task behavior, provide immediate feedback, and this is very motivating and fun. Right? So you can try all this in your classroom. Okay, type of assessment. You can print this, all right, write on the board or ask the students to make. And then you can show this and ask question. This is another way of types of activities. Tic-tac-toe boards give students a choice in how they demonstrate their understanding of a given topic. Okay, so this is also another game that you can play with your students at the end of the lesson. Okay, this is how you should use the various type of activities to meet the learner's interest. This is quite interesting activities that you can do in the class, right? Okay, cubing, also a good activity that you can try, right? Designed to help students think about the topic from different angles. Game like motivates students, recognizes large reservoir of knowledge and skills of some learners, satisfies hunger to do something different, eliminates boredom and lethargy, resulting from unnecessary drill and practice. This one you can do at the end of your lesson. So this is how you should do to make your lesson interesting and grab the students' attention. As you can see, the students are different and they have different learning styles. So these are some of the activities that you can do in the class. Graphic organizers is very good also. All right, you can do this. And this is one of the graphic organizer. It can stimulate their critical thinking. No? Okay, maybe you can ask them to read the text and then they highlight the points based on this graphic organizer, into these graphic organizers. Okay, so these are various type of activities that you need to do to differentiate the instruction. Okay, mind mapping is also very good to differentiate your strategies, yeah, right? Okay, what else can I do? Use voice over video as a means for students to receive information or as a means for students to demonstrate knowledge. Okay, when you do this activity, it relates to the visual. All right, visual, whereas some of the students are more visually inclined. So when you have this combination of activities in your classroom, that means you have already used the differentiated instruction in the classroom to cater the students' needs. Okay, using graphic organizers. All right, some students, they don't like to read a lengthy text, so they rather pick up some points in the flowchart, Venn diagrams, mind mapping. Right, so you need to find out. Have students underline or highlight keywords or phrases. Use tags that are tailored to the students' reading levels. Okay? Use questions that are tailored to students' comprehension level to test their understanding, to ask them to evaluate, okay, based on the Bloom's taxonomy. Yeah? Okay? Collect topics related to supplementary materials such as comic, the use of newspaper, magazines. These are the things that you can use because these are the things are authentic, yeah, whereby they learn the language using the authentic materials. So this is one way. Some students, they like to look at the comics. Some students, they like to do the video. So these are the various activities that you should do in the classroom to differentiate the instruction. Okay, this is also provide word walls for students. This is a good activity. Encourage students different forms of expressing learning, such as drawing, acting, poetry. Yes, I say some students, they are very what we call that? They like to mix with people. All right, interpersonal skill. They are very good at interpersonal skill. So maybe in one of the lessons, we assign them to do the poetry recitation, acting, drama. All right, flexible grouping, peer tutoring, learning buddies. So you need to implement this also in your lesson plan. I'm not saying that you have to use all this in one lesson plan, no. At least 2 or 3 various activities in the classroom is fine, and then it keeps going to the next lesson and so on. All right, I'm not saying that you have to use all this in one lesson, not like that, yeah. Okay, use students' diaries. As I said, some students are introvert, yeah, intrapersonal, so they like to write journals, learning logs, and all that. So you have to use these activities in your lesson also. Okay, depending on your context. Yeah? Shorten or lengthen assignment while still maintaining the objective of the lesson. Right? As I said, maybe for the low level struggling ones, you ask them to write 2 sentences perhaps. Okay, guided word with guided sentences. But for the good student, you can ask them to make about 5 sentences. All right, this is how you should do. Okay, rewrite problems using less or more complex language. Of course, when you deal with the struggling ones, you need to ask them to write in a very basic English, right? But whereas the good ones, they can carry on with their more complicated language, yeah? Okay, examine your philosophy about individual student needs. Start small, right? Start small, grow slowly, but grow. And vision how an activity will look. Step back and reflect. You need to always reflect. Don't ask the students to do all the activities without reflecting. You need to pause and reflect and to see whether they are learning or not. All right, whether this group of students are learning, whether this group of the higher level students are learning, you need to reflect. Then only you can modify your instruction in the next lesson. Okay, continue to empower students as the CFR advocates that We need to empower students, give them the freedom to learn, and they are the masters in the classroom. Teachers are there to only to assist them. All right. In my differentiated classroom, everyone will feel welcome. If you use all these activities that cater all the needs of your students, then everyone will feel that they are welcome. Mutual respect will be non-negotiable. Students will feel physically, mentally, emotionally safety. There will be a pervasive expectation of growth. I will teach for success. A new sort of fairness will be evident and accepted. Okay, as when you do these instructional strategies, yeah, you need to connect to the curriculum, CFR curriculum, where the curriculum says that we need to assess, we need to see the can-do statement of the students, right, rather than penalizing them. Your duty is to see what the students can do in the classroom. Okay, that's your duty, right? According to the syllabus. We will collaborate for mutual growth and success, because in your classroom you implement a lot of group activities, role play. So in the group they discuss and they mutually respect each other. So this is the mutual growth and success will grow. Okay. In summary, strategy 1, differentiate by tasks. Give different tasks to pupils according to their ability. All right. For example, this is for primary school. Get proficient pupils to answer in full sentences. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Whereas you ask the weak pupils to answer in short answers. Yes or no. All right. This is how you should differentiate. You don't expect the weak students to answer full sentence, right? So this is how you should do. Okay, differentiate by the type and amount of support. Offer different type, amount of support to pupils according to their ability. Right? Example, teacher provides extra guidance using teacher talk, gestures and visuals and written words to the pupils who need them. He provides support to the weaker students. Right? This is how you should differentiate. Differentiate by outcome. Expect different outcome from pupils according to their ability. For example, teacher expects weak pupils to use minimal language, but expect more language from proficient pupils. So this is how you should differentiate in your classroom. Differentiate by time given. Offer more longer time to complete a task. Right? Teacher allows students to work carefully at their own speed and not feel rushed. Okay? Fast finishers should be assigned extra tasks, but never rewarded. Okay? This is how you should do in the classroom. Okay? Differentiate by learning preferences and needs. I think I have discussed this earlier. Learners make choices about what they want to do and how they want to do. How they do it, right? For example, teacher allows learners to choose to do their work in pair or in group. You no need to assign. Okay, get into your groups. Whereas some students, they don't want. They want to do in pairs. So it's their choice. You need to give them the freedom. All right? Teachers allow students to state name of fruits either by oral answers, written answers, or by drawing. All right? Some students, the weaker students, maybe they can't pronounce the word. Maybe they can good at drawing. All right? So this is how you should do in your real classroom teaching. Yeah. Okay, differentiate by types of questions. Ask different questions to people according to their ability. For example, ask open-ended questions to proficient learners. What do you like to eat? For example, and close-ended questions to weak pupils. Do you like to eat carrots? Yes. The weak student will say, yes. Whereas the proficient students will have their long answers. So this is how you should differentiate. Don't ask the what do you like to eat to a weak student. I'm sure he will be struggling to answer. All right. Differentiate by feedback. Give different feedback. This one, feedback is really lacking. Yeah. So you need to give feedback to pupils according to their ability. Examples. Suggest improvement that can be easily achieved by weak learners and give feedback that provides challenges. You need to do that. All right. So these are the things that you need to focus. Yeah. Okay, we are for difference, for respecting difference, for valuing difference, until difference no longer makes a difference. So this is the ultimate goal of applying this differentiated strategies in your classroom. What I'm trying to say is every learner is unique. Every learner is unique. Okay? When I say that every learner is unique, their learning abilities also differs. That's why you need to go back and read more about the Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. All right. So, okay. So these are the website that you can refer. Right. All right. That's all from me. Thank you. Is there any other question? Do you have any other questions?
All right, thank you, Madam Sumati, for very good sharing. But all right, now we open to question and answer session. Is there any question from the audience? Ada soalan nak tanya atau boleh tulis pada ruangan chatting. Ya, untuk makluman sekarang dah dikongsikan link kehadiran untuk apa e-sijil. Jadi bolehlah nanti ya apa nama buka link ini untuk dilengkapkan. Okey, ada question nak tanya? Kalau tak ada mungkin apa tu Madam Sumati boleh boleh saya tanya
Ya, boleh.
apa nama ni kalau biasa uh, dalam bidang pendidikan kita juga bercakap berkenaan dengan personalized learning ya.
Ya,
So
personalized.
apa dia punya perkaitan atau perbezaan antara personalized learning ini dengan differentiated instruction. Boleh elaborate sikit ni Sumati pada audience?
Okay, personalized. It's almost the same. It's almost the same because the personalized is more on the we approach the students in more a one-to-one basis, right? It's same like differentiated also. Differentiated also we assign the work according to the students' learning needs based on the Gardner's theory, right? There are seven aspects that Gardner has mentioned. So when we assign the students with personalized teaching, then the students will learn more, will enjoy our class, and then they will retain our inputs. This is what is lacking, I would say, in the classroom. In reality, the teacher will give all the same worksheet to all the students. That's why I'm talking about in terms of English, the teaching of English. So that's why many students are still struggling to improve their language because of this. So differentiated learning can make a difference in the classroom. That's why our curriculum, CFR curriculum in the primary school also stated that we have to differentiate our strategies to cater the students' needs. It's also more or less like personal personalized teaching.
Alright, Madam Sumati, ada permintaan. Can we share slide PowerPoint tu? Boleh share ni?
Oh, boleh share? Okay,
Ada
okay.
orang ada permintaan.
Okay. I think I will, you can email to me. I will write my email here.
Boleh ataupun boleh bagi kat saya dulu.
Okay.
Nanti saya akan bagi pada apa ni lah, ni apa
Susila.
urus dia CDL
Boleh.
ataupun di
Share.
situ ada apa tu Gmail, apa boleh terus Gmail Sumati itu Gmail
Just
Sumati
send in email.
888
I will share.
gmail.com boleh hubungi terus pada Sumati. Okey, ada lagi soalan menarik ni sebab sekarang ni trending differentiated instruction
And it is also related to formative assessment. Kalau kita assess the students in the class, we need to differentiate also. We cannot give the same worksheet to all the students. To all the students. No, cannot. It is impossible.
One size fit all relevant nowadays.
It's not relevant at all. So that is the thing. That's why I purposely organize. I want to share my knowledge about this to the students out there and the teachers also. Any other questions from the audience? Some of my students are there. As you can see that.
Rasanya macam tak ada soalan lah ni
Because they are still, trainee teachers, right?
Okay, saya ingat macam inilah Madam. Apa tu, saya bagi peluang pada Madam untuk buat wrap up sikit lah keseluruhan apa yang disampaikan pada hari ini, 1 atau 2 minit
Okay. Overall differentiated strategies is concerned about the learning styles of the students in the classroom, whereby we have mixed ability students in the classroom, so we have to differentiate our strategies to meet their learning abilities, learning styles, in terms of the product, in terms of the process, in terms of the content, and also the environment also. These are the things that you, as a teacher, we should concentrate to make our class learning in the classroom more enjoyable, and everyone will have the chance to learn. We don't ignore the weak students because they can't do. We don't do that. That's why we need to plan something for the weak students also, apart from the excellent students. That is my conclusion for this session.
Okay, terima kasih sekali lagi kepada Madam Sumati Muniandy di atas perkongsian yang cukup menarik pada petang ini. Perkongsian yang bertajuk differentiated instruction in ESL classroom Okay, mungkin kita akan panggil lagi kalau ada peluang
Boleh. I would like to share about formative assessment, which is my research. I would like to share also.
Kemudian pada sidang penonton, audiens semua, saya ucapkan terima kasih atas kesudian anda bersama-sama dengan kami pada petang ini. Semoga apa yang dikongsikan oleh sebelum tu Dr. Mehander tadi dan juga oleh Madam Sumati Muniandy pada petang ini dapat kita memanfaatkan untuk meningkatkan kita punya kapasiti, khususnya kapasiti pedagogi kita lah dalam bidang PDP kita ataupun pengajaran dan pembelajaran berkenaan dengan CDL, insyaAllah kita akan berjumpa lagi pada hari dan waktu yang sama pada minggu hadapan dengan tajuk yang lain pula. Jadi bolehlah disebarkan kepada kawan-kawan yang lain bahawa pada petang Jumaat pukul 3. Sebelum tu 2.50 kita mulakan dengan snippet dulu. Kita akan adakan CDL, hands-on, online, cluster, IPG. Jadi kita sama-samalah ya berkongsi-kongsi ataupun mendengar perkongsian daripada pembentang-pembentang yang kita jemput khas. Ya. Okey, setakat tu dulu untuk petang ini. Kita jumpa lagi pada minggu depan. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih semua. Jumpa
Thank you,
lagi.
Dr. Hadi. Thank you very
Ya.
much.
Terima kasih Puan Sumati ya.
Sama-sama.